We just saw a pretty awesome matchup here between these two teams. Of course, a lot going on in that match with the replay included, but Envious able to just turn on the afterburners and put on a completely dominating performance against that Evil Geniuses squad. Now, of course, we are here at the Xfinity desk, joined with Tom T-Squared Taylor. Should be here all season long. Always excited to have you at the desk, Tom.
I was hoping you were going to.
I won't leave you hanging.
I was like, what's going on over here?
But either way, that was really impressive, especially considering, both the teams really, and the fact that Envious was able to just dominate that replay so effectively.
Yeah, if you're EG, it's a little bit frustrating because in your opinion, in your eyes, you're obviously going to be biased too because it's you. So you think, oh man, we had that game in the bag. If they would have put up a better fight there, we could talk about the rules. But in my opinion, I think it's a great rule. Talking to Tom Ogre too about this on Twitter, I think that this is the most fair, even rule for the replays, especially across all game types, whether it's stronghold or flag or anything like that too. Yeah, it's one of those game types where if you don't get control, things, could not go your way, but they weren't even able to rack up 14 seconds either way throughout that entire game. Who's to say that they were going to be able to do so if they knew mentally that they had to even get 14 points. So either way, moving into Luminostiy going up against E6, this is pretty much, the Nated versus Kratos thing going on. Obviously, you have L-Town involved as well, but this is going to be pretty big because E6 looked really strong last week going up against Team Liquid. Meanwhile, Luminostiy, they're undefeated, and they're looking potentially like the best team so far in North America, possibly in the world with the way that they were playing in scrims as well this week.
And, let's give some love to Suspector as well because he was on that Team Allegiance squad that took second at the Halo World Championships as well. And he has been coming out and essentially fitting. It looks like he just fits better on this team. We talked about the Lunchbox Roy combinations before, and it just the chemistry just wasn't there between those players, when you had Snipe Down as the fourth. Taking a look at the lineup here. Of course, this is going to be Kratos, Bubu, Stellar, and Suspector rocking out this Enigma6 lineup. And of course, this team with the Kratos, Bubu core is the one that took second at the summer finals.
Yeah, Kratos definitely going to have to give 110% today if these guys want to walk away the win against Luminostiy.
And of course, Kratos and Suspector, like we mentioned, finished second together. And that was with Nated and L-Town from Team Luminostiy. So we talked about these matchups, the Pistola and Snipe Down versus Lunchbox and Roy. Now we're talking about the Kratos and Suspector versus Nated and L-Town. All these teams, all these players have kind of ventured out on their own, and it's funny to see them all kind of rejoining forces, trying to replicate some of that success they found earlier on in the seasons.
Yeah, curious to see what these game types are going to be as well. And one of the big stories, for the side of Luminostiy is how well their new addition Denoxide has been playing as well. Here are the game types, Empire Strongholds. We do have two Coliseums. It's going to be Coliseum Slayer and then CTF, and then Plaza Strongholds, Regret Slayer. I do like these game types. We don't see Stasis Flag in there again, which is pretty heavy on the blue side. So, heads up. Map picks coming out from these guys, but I don't think any team necessarily favored based on these game types alone.
Right now, of course, that game one is Empire Strongholds. We talked about it a couple times before. Summer season, we did not even see this game type played. Saw it a lot come back here at the finals, and then starting off this fall season, it is all over the place. We've seen it in the majority of the series that these teams have played.
Yeah, teams looking to play a little bit more, maybe because they're feeling a little bit more comfortable on it. And we saw Snipe Down in the interview talk about how teams are really starting to find the players that they want to team with, starting to realize who fits well with each other, play styles. And it's about time because everyone's necessarily teamed with everybody at this point in Halo 5. So, Empire Strongholds, again, I don't think it's going to favor, any team, but I'm going to be watching out for, I think we're talking about Nated versus Kratos, but I think, in my opinion, Denoxide is going to have to really go big right from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, Denoxide is going to have to go big. We saw Falcated go pretty huge before. Like, these kids, Falcated, Denoxide, I feel like they have a lot of similarities. They both have amazing shots. They're both heavy, essentially slayers, young guns. There's a lot involved here, and Nated is obviously an X Factor. He's been on an X Factor on every team he's ever been on, but now we need to see Denoxide really step it up because he had a couple rough performances during that summer season, but now he's gone under Nated's wing, and I'd like to see Nated develop this kid as a player, and we've seen him do it before, the amount of success that Nated's had. being able to take a younger player and develop them into a master 4v4.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Nate had started to really play well in those last 2 games last week. And if he's playing anything like he did and like that we know that he can, one of the things is the guy plays absolutely ridiculous sometimes on his stream, just out of his mind. Sometimes looks like the best player in all of Halo 5. And then, come tournament day, he may not perform as good as he does when he's practicing or anything like that. So looking to him to, perform how we know that he can perform, especially again, if he's playing like he did those last 2 games last week, it's going to be very, very hard for E6 to be able to hang.
All right, now like we said, this is Empire on Strongholds. Who are you looking to start this one with?
Let's start this one off with Nated since we've been talking about him a little bit.
All right, I can get down with some Nated action here. Brett, of course, just an amazing player in all the Halos he's been able to compete in. And just goes back to the amount of experience this guy has, the way he thinks about the game, all benefit him, and he's had great performances.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to make his way over towards the pit. Meanwhile, Suspector picking up a couple kills, so that's going to give advantage outside to E6. Nated's in a 1v1 over here in the pit with his old teammate Kratos. Does get the kill on him, but he's going to need someone else to rotate over there towards the pit because he can't do it by himself. Nice thrust over there is going to make him miss the green gun, and again, he's just running around the pit, but they do end up capturing the pit, so that's a nice job from the side of Luminostiy to be able to get that one, and that all started with Nated staying alive that entire time. Looks like Boo Boo Doo though, with this, he's going to be running out of the ammo in the Saw soon. He does have another player in there capture the pit, so the pit going on over back to E6's side, so only 4 points racked up for Luminostiy.
And he did a great job of escaping. Good nade does pick up a trade in that situation. Control in favor of Enigma6. They do have that pit hill, but now we look like there are players starting to collapse there. Now, you do have Denoxide maybe not watching his radar as effectively as he wanted to, but this is a really good play from Luminostiy, focusing on the bases. Generally speaking, you want to get the side bases before you're able to control pit, but Enigma6, they're answering right back, and you see Boo Boo Doo capture the other hill.
There's going to be a triple count coming out from them, but ooh, Eco and Denoxide end up collapsing immediately from the security side of the map, so that's a nice job from them, and they're also able to get a couple kills here, which may be able to open up the pit for them, and it does, so nice job over there coming out from these guys on Luminostiy to make sure that they don't turn that triple cap, and they end up getting a double cap instead.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised they were able to get that hill back in favor of them, especially after that the Splinter nade that Suspector threw, picking up the kill on Denoxide. It really looked like he was going to shut down any kind of switch, but just like that, wasn't a whole lot of time gathered by that control. They were able to pick it right back up. Now, Denoxide trying to contest 2 players in this hill, kind of a little bit of an overstep. You're not going to really get anything out of that, but it actually looks like he was able to distract long enough for them to grab some control, but just like that, the reset comes out.
Nice reset for E6. That was so close, only a sliver away for Luminostiy, and that's big because the overshield's coming up here. So when you can get those slays right when the overshield's coming up, it puts them in a position where they got to go bottom center now and get that pit, or they need to make sure they go outside, and while you're doing that, you're still racking up points at the same time. So it looks like Eco leaves that pit area, ends up throwing a splinter grenade outside, and they're trying to really focus on getting this overshield, but I don't think they were able to. Yeah, so the overshield going over to E6. They also have map positioning here because they have the pit, so they can elect to just slow play this one. It looks like Luminostiy goes over towards the other side here, end up capturing blue base because of the fact that they are going to be getting triple cap, but that's just temporarily. So just trying to put a band-aid on it here and just slow play it, make their way outside, which is the correct play here, but keep in mind that they're going to be going up against an E6 squad that's in perfect position, and pit, one of the hardest things to retake here in all of Halo 5.
Eco trying to put some damage down. Kratos doing a great job thrusting away and staying alive long enough to avoid being taken out there. Denoxide and friends, you got 3 people in the hill, and look how fast that is going over back in favor of Luminostiy. Now, I do like this here from E6. This is what you want to do, but there's going to be too much aggression. Luminostiy just rotating too fast.
Unfortunately for Nated, that bounced the wrong way, and it looks like a temporary triple cap, but can't be for that long, and E6 is going to be able to capture this blue base. Now they immediately, again, need to rotate outside here. There's no way that they're going to actually be able to get the pit, but everyone is a little bit overextended on the side of Luminostiy. I do like that because they're not actually giving up their positioning, so they can just use their radar and call out where the players are moving out, but Boo Boo Doo Boo with a nice drop down onto Eco gets that kill. Surprised that he wasn't cleaned up because he was in the middle of the map, no shields, ends up pushing back out there, no shields, finally getting those recharged. charge. He's going to be full shields for his battle against Naded. Ends up rotating over there. Saw hasn't spawned yet, but nonetheless, nice move from Boobadooboo. But everyone on the side of LG is racking up points here, so he's going to have to make a move pretty quickly. Now he ends up getting pinched, so he's just staying alive. Was a nice play, but everyone on Luminostiy collapsing, so even better job by them, and they're able to secure this pit and rack up points. This one's going to end up being tied with the Overshield coming up here pretty shortly.
And with what we just saw from Boobadooboo, I really thought they were going to be able to regain some control. Grabbing that kill on Eco, escaping, staying alive in tower, but it just wasn't enough. Luminostiy is too quick on their rotations, and they still have a triple cap now.
This is great for Luminostiy because they can just control this area. Denoxide picking up a kill, but however, a couple kills going over to the side of E6. That's going to make the Overshield be in play here, and I think they were able to actually grab that one. So let's see what Naded does. Looks like he's going to just immediately press into blue base here. Misses his clamor up there on the sneaky area. 3 players here. He needs to make sure he doesn't overextend too hard. So yeah, realizes that at that point he's like, man, I tried to help L-Town out, but I just overextended a little bit too hard. And meanwhile, Boobadooboo still has tons of his Overshield left, so he's able to just add this pressure on the pit area for free, and then E6 retakes that. So just a little bit too overextended on the side of L-Town and Naded trying to hold that triple cap. They should have known, since they have the Overshield, that they wouldn't have been able to stop that one and just set up towards the pit. But nonetheless, Boobadooboo, nice plays here, getting a nice little anchor area on where the BR used to spawn, and is just going to watch people that are trying to make their way outside and also watch the pit at the same time. Luminostiy all over it, pinches him. Also, Stellar over here at red base, players just dropping left and right, and that's going to be advantage over to LG. Let's see if they're able to capture this blue base. Naded has no idea that Spectre's there. However, he does have help. Looks like they're able to bait and switch perfectly and capture the side base.
And wow, control back in favor now of Luminostiy, grabbing another kill bottom mid. That's going to be now 2 members dead for the team. We'll take a quick look at the stats and look at the number of captures here coming out from Luminostiy. They are far and above ahead here of Enigma6.
Yeah, and Kratos with not that many kills so far. Meanwhile, Eco picking up a couple of kills, so just Luminostiy going to be able to continue to hold this triple cap setup. The way that things are going, with 75 points and climbing, it's going to be very hard for E6. They're only going to have 1 or 2 pushes. They immediately have to capture one of these side bases. They have to make a move, and Overshield's going to be coming up pretty soon, but I don't know if they're going to actually have enough time. They do give up that side base, but they're going to immediately collapse on this one, get the kills, recapture it. They need to watch the pit, though, because this is an opportunity for E6 just to sneak in there. So as soon as they do get the kills, they need to immediately move out of the base. Denoxide's no shields here, put in an awkward position, but everyone on his teammate is flooding towards the pit here, so it's still a triple cap here coming out from Luminostiy. If they're able to control this pit, they should be able to win. They get the reset on there. Overshield coming up here pretty shortly. This is E6's time, though.
And look at this, still a triple cap, only 1 hill being taken. They need to quickly rotate over to another one, and can they afford to send someone out for Overshield? That is going to be the question. Ooh, a player did show up on radar here, although he's trying to be sneaky.
It's not going to be enough time. Nice contestation coming out. I think Luminostiy is going to get it. They are. So sick job coming out from Luminostiy to take what was given to them and also to shut down Kratos. Only 5 kills coming out from him. So rough start. And again, Luminostiy already 2-0. Looking so strong to start today, even leaving off where they left off last week.
Yeah, I mean, Spectre, there's some big numbers coming out from him as well. I mean, he had 5 stronghold captures. He had 18 kills, the most in the game, but it was essentially, it was all about Luminostiy that game. They were just too aggressive, too focused on the strongholds, and Enigma6 really couldn't handle that kind of pressure that game.
Yeah, and there was a couple mistakes even coming from the Luminostiy side. We saw when L-Town and Naded overextended a little bit, added that pressure, but one of the good things that they did was, even if they did make a mistake, they all immediately made the decision very quickly. And if you take too long to make a decision, that's one of the worst things that you can do in Halo. But as long as you move quickly, then it's hard for people to get the timing down. A lot of these things are timing. You'll see so many times where people will throw a grenade and they didn't necessarily know that person was there. It's just common things. You have this internal clock that you can feel when you've put in so much time into this game, so many hours practicing, and you just feel like, oh, maybe there's a guy coming around this corner. But if you're moving very quickly, you're not able to predict players that well, and that's some of the things that Luminostiy did very well. They were very decisive in exactly where they wanted to go. When they collapsed together. They were also very aware of the spawns, which is one of the most important things. So I'd really be interested to see what type of communications coming on from Luminostiy, because they seem to be, on top of almost every single scenario in that game.
I mean, that was a scary team to watch them play that map. The amount of time that they look like controlling all 3 strongholds and being comfortable at that and not like having huge risks of losing it each and every time that they held it. Like other teams might pick up a triple cap and then all of a sudden they're getting reverse triple capped on, but that was not the case that we saw from Luminostiy.
And again, you know, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, teams cannot afford to go down 2-0. Yeah, E6, we talk about how resilient they are. They're very capable of coming back and doing a reverse sweep, but Luminostiy, they're playing very high caliber Halo right now. I'd be very shocked that if they were able to, Luminostiy wins this game, that E6 would be able to come back, especially considering that the next 2 maps are both going to be Coliseum.
Hey, and Luminostiy, still our last undefeated team starting this out with Evil Geniuses dropping earlier to NDS.
Yeah, and we'll see how long they can keep the streak up. I mean, they've been looking really solid. Looks like L-Town's going to grab a plasma and throw a grenade over towards that sniper area and try to blow that one off. I think he was trying to get it back towards him, but meanwhile, E6 picking up a couple kills. This is exactly the type of start that they needed too, and everyone on E6 very solid at Coliseum in my opinion. You know, Kratos very good at getting over there and being a nuisance on your elbow side of the map. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo always controlling that sniper rifle, so it's going to be up to Luminostiy to make sure that they spread out and make sure that they're not giving up any dumb deaths, and make sure that they hit these rockets here, because Naded wasted a couple rockets. Yeah, they do get the kill, but those are some, you know, things that you can't afford to do because you want to conserve those rockets and try to get as many kills as you can.
And I'm pretty sure that was 3 missed rockets in an up-close battle, so that was a kind of a crucial mistake, but even with that happening, still a 1-point game here, and sniper control area of the map still in favor of Luminostiy.
All things considered, this is really good for Luminostiy. I mean, it's tied up. They were down to start that game. They didn't have necessarily any control. The only thing they had in their favor was Naded with the rockets, and he wasn't able to get any kills. So the rest of his teammates definitely stepping it up when they need him to, and let's see if they're able to use that to their advantage.
Quick 1v1 battle going on. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo with the shots does finish off the kill on Eco and is able to stay alive. Looks like all of the Luminostiy spawning back towards blue base. They still have control of sniper. This is one of those games where we've seen a lot of action at the bases as opposed to all of it at the sniper side of the map here. So kind of a slow one to get started and really still neck and neck. And most of the time we see one team really pull away.
I don't know how Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo's still alive here. He's not in a very ideal position, and nobody really on the side of E6 is in a very solid position. Luminostiy has complete map control, and based off that, they only trade kills, so it's not the best scenario. They end up getting 3 for 2 there. So they need to be able to, you know, utilize this positioning to pick up more kills. They were at least able to pick up the rockets based on the fact that they had so much snipe control because E6 eventually had to rotate over there. So let's see if all of that, you know, leads to Denoxide able to go on some sort of spree here with the rockets.
Now he wasn't able to grab those rockets, move him over to Snipe Tower, barely getting nicked by a grenade that entire time. Listen to some teammates' call-outs. They know there's several members over here at Red Base, but they're not going to give up any free deaths.
It's been a weird game. I mean, you could tell this is a tournament game here. We're here in the Pro League. These guys really want to win this game, especially E6. I mean, E6, we talked about it before in Slayers. They're one of the teams, if not the team, that really enjoys slowing it down. They make sure that they don't give up any dumb deaths. They make sure that they find out where everybody is, get all the information, and then they make plays accordingly. But if LG, if Luminostiy is on top of these spawns, and if they know where all the players are, granted they don't have the player outlines, but if they can get the information, then Denoxide can collapse with these rockets. But the one thing that I do like that Denoxide's doing is he's always in a position that gives him an escape route, so he's never necessarily that vulnerable on the map. I would like to see him just get a little bit more aggressive eventually.
Yeah, he does have that new sniper spawning, so he's just going to set up, control this area, help his teammate grab that weapon. Now, on Enigma6's side, they're all over the map. They are at both bases. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo maybe not listening or not hearing that call out. Naded's going to be able to, or excuse me, Denox is going to pick up a free kill on that player. Still has 2 rockets left in this rocket launcher.
Yeah, needs to make sure that he just wastes them, and that's exactly what he does. He even picks up Kratos on the way, so nice job by him. Kratos also had the scatter shot, so a good opportunity to pick up another gun there and go on a little bit more of a spree. But one of the things, again, Denoxide was just waiting for players to come to him, which is fine. But as the rocket player, if you have the information that numerous people were stuck at red base like E6 was, that's your time to sit there and capitalize and get aggressive. You can't be the first player to go in there by himself. We saw a couple players from Luminostiy were in position, but you know, if you're staying alive as long as Denoxide has, you need to be going on some sort of spree, and his team wasn't able to go on a spree. You can see it was tied, and now E6 is up by 6 kills. So I do like that while Denoxide doesn't look like he's making necessarily any mistakes, he wasn't necessarily causing any good things happening for the side of Luminostiy when they're really looking to him him to actually put in work since he had the weapons.
And here we go. The Rockets are on the map as well. Bubudubu putting those to quick use. That is a 7-kill lead here, but he's going to drop the
Nice
nade
nade.
as he throws nades. Stellar with that sniper, and this is an extremely talented player with this weapon as well. Good nade. Now it does not do any damage there as Suspector already picks that one up, but Stellar immediately bringing this weapon back, trying to set up and cover Suspector hiding bottom center now.
Yeah, and there's so many weapons down there that they tossed the rockets out, and I think that they even left those. So I think that was a little bit of miscommunication coming out from the side of E6. Let's see if Luminostiy is able to grab those rockets that were dropped down there towards that elbow area on blue side. But Eco can't really worry about those quite yet because of the fact that he's over at the snipe side and doesn't want to give up position. That's Kratos over there caught out in that cave. Nice nade coming out from Eco. He needs to work with his teammate over there to make sure that they clear out this red flag area. And this is what I would like to see Denoxide would have done with those rockets. Just push in there over there towards that area or go towards the window and just try to get some kills. But L-Town ended up baiting a little bit too hard and just crouched with that scatter shot and ends up dying even after all of that to Bubudubu. So I would have liked to see him challenge that a little bit more with his teammate there, left his boy hanging. And now E6, starting to build on this lead.
Oh, and there's Denoxide hiding in the cave with the sniper, but he's getting collapsed on. Not able to hit the shots there. A 10-kill lead now for Enigma6.
Nice shots.
They're just building that even higher now at this point. Several weapons down in cave. Enigma6 is doing a great job of locking down all the weapons.
Yeah, Bubudubu in really prime position to go on a nice little spree here. Has the DMR, has that sniper rifle. Doesn't see if there's a player on the pyramid. To his left, lands that no-scope onto Denoxide. Denoxide trying to get that sniper back that he dropped, but Bubudubu's all over it there. So 13-kill lead here for E6. Bubudubu still in that cave with the sniper, just baiting for the next sniper rifle to come up. Rockets are up too, so he can elect to go either which way with those, but the rockets are grabbed by Naded, and the sniper is grabbed by Denoxide. Suspector takes him out with the scatter shot, but Naded over there at that red base. If Naded's able to get that push over here, and if Bubudubu isn't able to pick up any more picks, that should be a good opportunity for Luminostiy, but they have to pretty much play this one almost to near perfection because the score is getting a little out of hand.
Now, they don't know how much ammo.
Oh, Bubudubu hanging out at the bottom of the map. That's not a good spot to hang out there. Maybe got a little bit scared there, a little bit flustered when he saw that player take him down to no shields, but that's the type of play that you need for Luminostiy there to get back into this one. However, Suspector does have this sniper back in his hand. Again, it's up to Naded with these rockets to really make a difference.
Right now he's hitting several shots. Oh, that's a crucial one to miss, not being able to pick up or finish off that kill. However, still a big healthy lead that they're holding down, but like
Naded's going for the tip-top jump there and he missed it. He was actually going to try to make that area towards the very top of the base there that we've seen people do with the flag. That's going to be the rocket guy. Naded ends up trading there with Suspector, so Naded missing his jump was pretty big. They are down 15, so Naded would actually had to made that jump and do some really ridiculous things in order to walk away with this one, and now you just see players trading kills back and forth. But all in all, this one should be going over to E6. We should have a series on our hands, and it should be eventually tied up 1-1. One of the things to keep in mind, Kyle, is that the next game is going to be Coliseum CTF, and based on this performance on Coliseum, it's safe to say that E6, is no pushovers when it comes to this map.
Now, there are several members dropping here, and if there's ever a map that we see giant comebacks on, like we've seen it on Regret, we've seen it on Coliseum, especially as well. But like we said, a lot going on, a lot of good things need to happen for anything crazy like a comeback like this in a pro league to happen. So I'm not expecting it, but 13 kills needed here for Luminostiy. Only 2 now for Enigma6, and they're quickly looking to close it out.
Yeah, they need just like a nice gust of wind to blow Bubudubu off the map again or something like that at this point. And there's the stick, Stellar onto Naded. So it's just so hard. Oh, and even a no-scope onto Eco. So Stellar at the end of the game going pretty big. But look at Suspector, 15-9. And, low deaths coming out from everybody besides Kratos. So everyone on E6 playing pretty solid overall, and moving into CTF Coliseum, they got to be feeling good about how they played that last one.
Yeah, I mean, Suspector, we're definitely going to take a look at his perspective a little bit more going forward, because he's having some great games. He was able to put up 18 kills in that first one, even though they lost pretty handedly. And this game that they won in the Slayer is the most positive one overall from both teams. So great job by Suspector, really coming out and proving, why he had so much success with Kratos at Halo World Championships. They just meshed really well. There's there's a lot of chemistry that we're seeing from this squad.
Yeah, and I'm sure they shared a lot of their strategies with the other two teammates, and those guys bringing their strategies over as well. And they play a very high level when they're on. And Luminostiy, keep in mind, I was talking about how they could potentially be the best team, even over Optic, based on the scrims that we were sawing. Obviously, a lot more games to be played, just like Snipedown was saying in his interview, that you'd be upset if it was, week 5 or week 6 and they were still behind EG in the standings, and a lot remained to be unseen. However, the fact that E6 is able to, make that game not even necessarily that close, they really pulled away with that one. So that's just a big statement from them overall moving forward. They're going to be feeling good about how the rest of the series is going to play out for them.
And just the way that these games are unfolding, we talked about it time and time again. There's not just one clear leader. Everyone's kind of caught up as far as skill cap goes, as far as the meta of the game and how each game type and map wants to be played out, what's most effective for those teams to win. And Luminostiy, and it's perfect examples that EG versus Envy, when one team is having a great first game and on a replay just gets absolutely dominated. So you have to be playing amazing Halo to win these games. Those crucial mistakes can come back and punish you for an entire map or entire series as well. So this is going to be capture the flag here on Coliseum. Of course, first 3 captures to win. We saw amazing things from Suspector, so we're going to start this one off with him.
Yeah, and this is all about controlling that snipe area. But one of the things that E6 does really well, just like we saw the side of EG try to do when Ninja ran that flag down towards the elbow, is these guys don't care where they run the flag. They'll run it snipe side, they toss it bottom center, they'll pull it elbow too, and that's just really hard. But keep in mind that we saw Luminostiy also get out to a really hot start on this last week and go up 2-0 within the first minute. And it looks like E6 is trying to give them a taste of their own medicine here.
And that rocket was almost a double naded with the rocket. Mary picks up a kill there. He almost had 2 kills with that, but wasn't taken out.
Suspector doesn't need a pistol. He's just going to take out his sniper and go for the headshot there. So that was big in securing that capture. But Naded's over there with the rockets. Another kill from Suspector going on to Eco. This should be flag capture there easily for E6. They're going to put that one in. And that was a lot having to do with Suspector landing those no-scopes onto L-Town. Still has that sniper in his hand. Lands one onto Naded as Naded makes his way over towards the cave. Has a couple of grenades that he can chuck in there as well. Naded stuck over there. Is going to have to get that kill onto Stellar, though, to stop the push coming in from E6. And Suspector, did great in that previous game. Top Slayer, least deaths for his team, and he's looking good again on this map.
Oh, and could you imagine if he had hit that second no-scope as well? Eco doing a great job at taking out that player, but Suspector did exactly what he needed to do with that first sniper of the game. Picks up several different kills, is absolutely the MVP on securing that cap. But what was really impressive was just how quickly that E6 was able to get that first flag pull and actually secure it.
Yeah, now L-Town trying to put in work onto Kratos over here and get into the base and pull the flag, but his shields are a little bit depleted. That little one shot that Kratos got onto him should be enough for Suspector to go over there and easily pick up that kill and get that return as well, but does have another player there for the side of LG. That's going to be Denoxide, making sure that they don't get the return. However, they're able to. Now a second cap going to be put in here. However, Eco does get that kill. Stellar picks it up. Is Eco going to be able to finish this one off? Maybe he'll be able to get the touch. That's 3 players dead there, so possible return. Kratos only got alive here. They do get the return, so nice job from Luminostiy. Huge kills coming out from Eco. Eco also hasn't dropped the flag, so no one knows where that flag is going to be pulled. And keep in mind again that Kratos was that last guy alive. He was able, even gets that ground pound, so Denoxide could have easily looked up and got that kill onto Kratos, and Kratos clutching it there as the last guy alive, getting 2 kills when he shouldn't even gotten any.
All right, now Stellar does have the rockets here. He is pushing up on a flank, grabs 1 kill, knows there's a player window, but he drops. Denoxide doing a great job actually finishing off that kill. There's still grenades here. We'll just take a look at this third person as you see Denoxide fighting 2 players. Enigma6 able to come out ahead on that one. Gonna take a look here through Suspector, who's trying to put down some cover fire for his teammate. Perfect last shots here. He actually, pretty sure he was looking at his ammo because he took his time and lined up that last shot. Just give you an idea of the experience and confidence in these players and how good they are. Something Roy definitely needs to pay attention to, because that's a kid we've seen run out of ammo while shooting at least a dozen times here over the years.
When you're a turret, but nonetheless, they're going to be popping this one in, and I think there was a lag out there, so let's check the score here to see who ended up lagging out. It was someone on E6. That was Boo Boo Doo Boo ended up dropping there, so That's interesting that he ends up lagging out in that type of situation where they were up as well. I think putting that other flag cap, that would have been 2-0, right? That was them putting in that cap. So a couple lag outs here. Not sure if there's something going on, with updates, or sometimes your Xbox freezes and things. But that's an unfortunate situation. We'll get the ruling on that and make another replay. But again, going back to talk about how the rules are, see on Twitter here how Lethal thinks that EG would have won that game if everything would have been continued to played out. And the thing is that Envy did have the strongholds under the control in that game. So yeah, if EG did have both strongholds and the lagged out happened, that would have been unfortunate. But I don't see why this is even a conversation when that game wasn't even so close. So I'd appreciate it if you guys just left it alone.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's always a double-edged sword. No matter what you decide on, no matter
no
what
one's
you
ever
do.
happy.
And of course, everyone's not going to be happy. But I mean, the perfect example is, like, for example, Evil Geniuses going up against Cloud9 last season, where you're going off of replay with 3 kills remaining in the game. Like, it just doesn't work like that. There's a lot more that comes into it than just Xboxes and Ethernet. Everything can play a factor. Anything can disconnect somebody from a game. Internet service providers. I mean, I've struggled with that. I live down in the country of Kentucky for the longest time. Ace is right there with me. He can vouch for it. Internet service providers sometimes are not
one of the problems that I had, besides like ISP issues and people can even get DDoS and things like that, which is super annoying and extremely illegal. I wish that they would look into that even more and punish people for that more. But I remember when I was playing that, my computer blue screened a couple times when I was trying to qualify for the Pro League, and that was just unfortunate because it happened numerous times where it's just like there's no doubt about it that it definitely kills your momentum. It kills the vibe. It doesn't make it so the conversations about strategy and things like that, it's always in the back of your head. So no doubt about it that it's hard to focus, but we've been dealing with all of these things for how long now? Nothing's perfect in the world of esports.
I mean, things are 1,000 times better than when we were competing, which is...
Well, it's like how many times, like, it's like, what is there? In other sports, it's like there's the football field and then there's the football and then there's like the officials. And it's like, they're always, the field's always in perfect condition. The football, unless Tom Brady has it, it's going to be the adequate amount of air in it. I mean, the officials, for the most part, do a pretty good job. So, here we're dealing with electronics and
boxing.
Yeah, it's insane.
Can't even watch it.
Yeah, it's insane. It's hard. It's hard to deal with all of these, situations that come up. But again, I think that the rules are the most fair that we've had them in a really long time. And, again, as a player, these type of things are frustrating. It definitely kills the momentum, kills the vibe. I know for the viewers at home that they don't want to hear us talk and they want to watch the game. So I apologize for my voice, but hopefully you guys stick with us.
Yeah, I mean, like bad play calls for fouls, let's say perfect games being ruined by an umpire or first base ref.
Well, an umpire or an empire, because I'm like thinking empire strongholds.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but I mean, whatever the case may be, like the rules, like if it was a perfect world, we would play the same map 5 times in a row for 30 minutes each, and whoever wins the most out of that is better at that game type and moves on to compete.
Well, if it was a perfect world, we would just literally, like, right when the player lags out, there would be a pause button within the game. I can't tell you how many times when I was living at home with my mom that I wish there was a pause button because she would, and I'm just like, I can't pause the game, Mom.
I'm telling you, you said that.
Mom, I love you. I'm glad that we're talking about you right now. But anyway, like, it's just... You're playing against real people. You can't pause the game. You can't ever go back and replay an exact scenario of how the games play out, because we've seen how just one little small decision or one kill not going in your favor can result in a loss. And, for example, when Roy didn't get the kill on a snipe down in the cave, again, when he was no shields, and snipe down banked the nade, thrusted, killed Roy, ended up getting another kill after that, and then EG wasn't able to pull the flag out. Victory missing those rockets, things like that. All of those things are reasons, why they lose a series. Not the rules.
Yeah, I mean, if the complaint is coming from anyone other than Heinz, and if anybody has a lot of Halo history,
if anyone
they don't have a place to speak. Heinz has a right to speak.
Complain.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about that. If we're going to talk about anything, let's talk about that, because that was baloney.
That was the biggest mishap of a game played I've ever seen in my entire life. And if the rules were the rules they are now, Triggers Down would have won the game and continued on in that event. So
just think about that.
Just
think about that, Tom. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, never a perfect world, and anybody that competes in Halo or plays online or does anything or any video game for that matter has some sort of adversity they have to overcome to win. But that's part of being a pro player and having to deal with those kind of things. Whether or not you got fans in the crowd yelling at you during a game, or after the game, you got people prank calling your room and knocking on your door while you're trying to sleep at a hotel event. There's a lot
It
that happens.
happens. It happens.
It's happened to us. Every single one of those examples we've done has happened to us. So obviously, we got these players back in the game. So let's not waste any time. We are looking at the team Enigma6 needing 1 flag capture to win, and we are going to need all 3 flag captures here from Luminostiy.
All right, so I do like the rules here. Keep in mind, yeah, as you see on that right-hand side, this is a replay. Only 1 cap for E6, just as Kyle was saying. And this is pretty much the same start as last time. Suspector going up there for that sniper, pretty much uncontested. Doesn't land the no-scopes this time around, though. Denoxide getting that nice kill with the SMG. So let's see if Denoxide's finally able to do some work with the weapons here. Again, we're looking at him to be this main Slayer there, and wasn't able to do much with the rockets in the Slayer Coliseum game. So let's see where his positioning is. Obviously wants to try to get in that cave or maybe sit top catwalk area, and it looks like he's going to be working with his friend Eco over there, his teammate Eco, to try to get in towards the base, but has to respond to a couple callouts over there. So nice job listening to his teammates. However, it's a couple players on the side of E6 playing defense, so it's up to Nady to go in there, and also Denoxide with these weapons to get the kills. And they have both of the weapons here and the flag pretty far out of the base, so they need to capitalize on this. Someone else needs to get over there, run the flag. L-Town ends up dying there, and that's what I'm talking about. Kratos going over there, pulling the flag elbow side, also getting some slays, and that totally negates the fact that they have weapons on this side of the map. So sick play coming out from E6.
And that was not what I was expecting there. Having that sniper, having the rockets, and are we going to...
That's it. That's it. And exactly what I was saying. These guys are fantastic at running the flag elbow. You have to be aware that Kratos grabs the scatter shot 9 times out of 10 on this game type. He pushes into your elbow. He pulls the flag. You have Rocket Sniper there. You need to get aggressive on the guys at the flag. And when, Kyle, remember when you're talking about when you go and pull the flag, it makes you uncomfortable and make decisions that you don't want to do. That's what we saw there coming out from Luminostiy.
Now the question is do you think Luminostiy would have won that game if it was not a replay?
I don't know. Let's ask people.
All right, and of course, take a look at some of the highlights here from that match. A lot going on. Now, of course, the answer to that question will never be known.
That was the biggest play, actually, in that whole series, was Kratos was the last guy alive. He stayed alive in the grass area, and then obviously that counter pull over there on the elbow side. But Kratos, didn't have the hottest start there in the Empire Strongholds game. Went even in Coliseum Slayer, but he makes those game-changing plays, those big momentum plays that will really turn the series over. And I'm about to eat my words. I was talking about how Luminostiy was looking like possibly the best team in North America here, but then again, we're also talking about the matchups and how crazy the matchups are, and how any team can necessarily beat any team, just like Shooter was saying in the interview. And I firmly believe that the competition this season is absolutely bonkers.
I mean, it's definitely hard to argue that anyone's the best team besides Optic Gaming. They've been dominant. They've rarely lost online scrims. Been a little bit closer than they have in the past, but it's really going to take a finals type of event, one where everything is on the line for these guys to be dethroned and then actually be able to credit someone else as maybe the best team in the world. But like we said before, this is a race for first place now. Like, it could happen.
Well, and this next game is going to be very important because obviously if E6 wins it, they're going to walk away with the series. If Luminostiy wins this one, I think the momentum goes right back in their favor. And they looked extremely strong in the very first game type, which was Empire Strongholds. Now I believe we're moving into Plaza. So again, this is a good opportunity for them to potentially even this series out 2-2. I wouldn't be surprised if this one went to game 5, but we've seen what Boo Boo Doo Boo can do with the camouflage on this, crouching down there bottom center with 3 players right in front of him. If he's able to, get any type of camouflage or any type of weapons in his hands, if Suspector is able to continue to put up, the stats that he has, and if Kratos is going to continue to do the objective and dirty work there, someone on Luminostiy is going to have to go big.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Not that I don't always agree with you, but I do completely agree with you in that situation. And, as we're starting to get the players back into this next game here, I did want to bring up another situation. I think we were teaming on a replay. It was a Sanctuary CTF game, and it was somebody lagged out with like 30 seconds left on the clock. So we replayed a map with 30 seconds, which is literally not even enough time to run across the map, grab a flag, and run it back to your base. Yeah. So I would have loved to see some different kind of replay rules there, but no, it's not exactly what happened.
There's something.
There's some points that need to be made, and I'd be more than happy to make them.
Striking some sort of nerve with you, I can tell.
Sometimes there's points that need to be made, and I'll be more than happy to be that guy.
All right, that's fine with me. All right, Plaza Strongholds, guys. If you're not familiar with this game type, get familiar with it. It's about holding the nest in bottom middle, trying to trap your enemy team over there in the yard. That's the ideal setup. That doesn't mean that you can't hold any variety of these setups here. As long as you're holding at least 2 out of the 3 strongholds, you will be getting points. As you can see, that camouflage top center. Looks like a quick little bottom mid push here coming out from Eco and the Luminostiy squad, but E6 is on top of it. They are able to capture the nest on that side of Luminostiy, though, so good job by them. However, the Slay's going heavily in E6's favor. They're able to get that nest right back, I guarantee it, and then also making a push onto that yard area. The spawns were on the loop side of the map, so Kratos is doing a nice job staying alive, and now he doesn't even have to over-pursue this because he did have the mentality of getting into that yard, getting that triple cap, but now he can just sit back. I like this play, going top gold. It's exactly what he needs to do, and as you can see, you know, not the prettiest stats in the world, but he definitely, you know, has that winning mentality and will do whatever it takes.
Yeah, and you got to appreciate or at least have some respect for players that are able to do that. And a great kill going on to Kratos to take him out, creating opportunities for this LG squad. But just like that, Eco maybe being a little bit too aggressive there, kind of suiciding out, not knowing there's a player at Nest who is going to drop him as well. Now, I like what we're seeing from Denoxide and Naded working together here. L-Town trying to respond to the callouts, does finish off that kill. Another player, Kratos, dropping here. That's going to put bottom mid now back in the favor of Luminostiy, and they're going to put their first points on the board.
Yeah, and Boobadooboo's in a pretty decent spot, though. He's over there in that hotel area trying to distract. He does get that kill onto L-Town, so he can just be annoying and be a nuisance. It's going to take a couple of resources for the side of Luminostiy to get him out of there, and looks like he's just going to try to help secure this bottom middle area, and I like the way that he's playing this one. Perfectly using the terrain, not popping out, and just making sure that he's using the map to his advantage, and that's going to be pretty much bottom middle captured for them. So yeah, that's just a nice job by Boobadooboo staying alive now, and now they have the ideal setup. So I really like that play from him.
Yeah, I didn't like Denoxide going for that shotgun there. I mean, they didn't have bottom mid, they didn't have, or they had bottom mid, excuse me, and they didn't have Nest. It's pretty obvious that Enigma6 is going to be going for bottom mid well before they push over to yard to go for like a triple cap or anything like that. He could have pushed out a lot quicker, maybe caught Suspector with that shotgun and had more impact on the game here. But with that being said as well, control still going over to Luminostiy. They've been, the rest of the teammates doing a great job of locking this down. Eco not afraid to charge Boobadooboo with that storm rifle and melts him.
Yeah, very aggressive play. Now keep in mind the camouflage used to spawn down there, but now it's moved towards top center. So these guys a little bit out of position there. Not sure who was able to walk away with that one, if anyone. So I'm going to be scrolling through to check, but you know, good capture coming out from the side of E6. They do have the momentum on their side. They're up 2-1 in this series, and Boobadooboo just picked up a double kill. And again, he played that one fantastically over there towards that hotel area of the map. Just needed his teammates to collapse on that bottom middle area a little bit sooner, which they did. And now they're making their way over towards yard, and they're going to be able to triple cap here. However, they did leave the nest area side of the map available, so definitely Luminostiy going to be trying to get that control. They don't need to be going towards bottom middle, though, at the same time. So whoever that was that pushed down by himself to Denoxide, not a smart play from him. Needed to slow it down a little bit, or just miscommunication coming out from these guys. So never ever go into that bottom middle stronghold by yourself. At least want 2 or 3 people there.
Oh, and great job by Naded jumping up to that top sniper location, but not going the normal way or normal route about it. Enigma6 not seeing that coming there. And Denoxide, what a great kill on Stellar.
Yeah, but they're not able to secure that bottom mid. There they are. So a little bit late there from E6. They are able to get the necessary slays they need to clear it out, and that's only going to be a couple points going over there to Luminostiy. So sick retake coming out from E6, and they're looking really strong in this game. And Boobadooboo, he's just running around the map. You can see how calm he's playing. When you look at a lot of other people's screens, they're very flustered, but just look at Boobadooboo and the way that he's confidently looking around and just not flustered in any way, shape, or form. Just such smooth, confident gameplay coming out from him.
I mean, Boobadooboo is extremely good. There's a reason why he's had so much success here in Halo 5, you know, being on those teams that have been consistently in the top 4. That's going to be the first triple cap that we're seeing here out of Enigma6 as well.
Ammo, though.
keep in mind, 2-1 lead here. This is exactly what they want to be doing to close out the series.
L-Town brought over some BR ammo for Boo, so he's just going to be able to hold this position. And with the camo dropping here any second, this is going to be an awesome setup coming out for E6. Doesn't have to challenge that to his death, but does lay down the necessary damage, which is perfect plays coming out from him. So able to just clean these guys up. And I love the way that he's playing this one. Almost perfection, but Denoxide does have that camouflage. Does get spotted. Does he get the stick? No, so perfect kill on the camo guy coming out from Boo. Little eagle eyes, as Kyle likes to say. And again, I love the fact that he's not leaving this position, but as soon as he leaves it, he does get taken out of no shields, gets right back into there, gets that kill onto L-Town. A couple players are going to be down bottom center, helping him clear that area out. And this is so tough for Luminostiy. This is the setup that's almost impossible to break unless you have a good take-back strategy. And look at Boo on this little sneaky ledge here. Doesn't get spotted quite yet. L-Town finally sees him, but L-Town's by himself, and positional advantage going over to Boo. Smooth BR shots going out from them, but they do capture that bottom middle area. But how many times have we seen this where Luminostiy does capture bottom middle, killing Frenzy from Boo? So many times they retake it, and
no ammo in either gun right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to need ammo, but he actually ends up switching over and picking up a couple different guns, and that's going to be his demise. So finally had to drop because he was out of ammo, and again, he just pretty much played that one perfectly. So many times you see players go over to the yard or just leave nest area. You don't have to leave nest area, guys. If you have that nest bottom middle setup, just sit S4 and work with your teammates on spreading out on the rest of the map and just lock that position down, and you'll see, you know, similar stats coming out for yourself.
All right, now Nated crouching around. Doesn't know there's another player crouching around. Big win on Kratos. Grabs a reversal as well. Former teammates. He's going to pick up and decide to go with that storm rifle. Now they've got the poor man set up, as you like to say here. I'd like to see them start pushing a little bit further over to Nest. She's got two players down now here for Enigma6. Perfect opportunity. Last two players are trying to contest bottom of the left and top of the snipe. They know where he is. They see him on radar, and that's going to be a triple cap happening. Two members of Enigma6 quickly pushing to yard to try to stop the bleeding, but this is a good opportunity.
This is really good. This is really good opportunity for Luminostiy because the camo again is coming up. So if Nated's just on top of this, I don't know why he has to even push into this yard area. Maybe he feels like because they're down so much that they actually need to go for the triple cap, which isn't necessarily the truth here. So let's see if they're able to punish this on the side of E6. Nobody comes in there to contest. A little bit too late there from Boo. They should have contested that a little bit earlier or rotated. So all in all, they are able to get that triple cap. Not really sure what happened with that camouflage though. So let's see what happens here if Luminostiy is able to keep this triple cap, because again, they did get that yard area, but now they're in, you know, a possible situation where they lose Nest, and they do. So I just don't agree with that play. As you can see, E6, the triple cap didn't really mean much to them because they just went right back towards over there and got that Nest area. So I'm just not a big fan of when you have control, leaving control to go for that yard area. Even if you are down that much, you can just hold that double cap and just, you know, milk the points for everything they're worth.
But that was a great job by Kratos and Spectre working together to get that reset on Nest. And that's going to put bottom mid in their hands as well. Nobody's capturing yard. This is going to be a triple cap coming out in their favor. And with Denoxide charging bottom center and dying, you are exactly correct, Tom. They're going to try to stop the bleeding here with the yard grab, but it is not going to be enough as they still hold bottom mid. L-Town drops as well. You got several.
Well, it's all about bottom mid here. It looks like they are trying to go for that bottom middle area. So if E6 is on top of that and contests, there's no way that they're going to be able to do this. But I knew this was over when I saw that L-Town spawned on that loop area, and I think Denoxide as well, and they immediately made their push over there towards that yard. Just not necessary. Again, Nated didn't need to go for that triple cap over there towards the yard. I get it. You're down by a lot of points, and looks like someone ended up putting there towards the end of the game. Looks like that was Denoxide. So Denoxide obviously not happy with the performance coming out from Luminostiy, but they just made too many mistakes, and they didn't kill Kratos there in the grass in that Coliseum game. You know, E6 really outplayed him in Coliseum in general, so they need to be aware that they want to avoid E6 or just avoid Coliseum in general if that's how they're going to play it. And then just, you know, strategic mistakes here. Boo also some really strong gameplay from his screen, but like for example, Denoxide here, you know, going for that stick onto that player or just like not utilizing his camo. Yeah, that's a good play coming out from Boo, but you need to be going on sprees with your camouflage. You need to not be overextending over there towards the yard area. You have to fall back and take what's given to you, and that's not what they did.
So as we have it, Enigma6 coming out, putting on a strong performance with a 3-1 over Luminostiy, who, you know, have been the only undefeated team up to this point, but now they joined the rest of the crew, and everyone has at least one loss now. And taking a look at some of these scores, after that first game, Or
Not
actually,
even
well, none of
close.
these games were close.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that Luminostiy couldn't have won those games. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that they really stood a chance in Coliseum Slayer. Yeah, it was a 3-0 in Coliseum Flag as well, but we saw the, opportunities, the missed opportunities. They didn't kill Kratos. That was a capture that they missed. They got counter capped. That's -1 cap for E6 and +1 for Luminosity. So all in all, just E6 really executed it, and a lot of it, hats off to Bubudubu, who we actually have in an interview for the way that he was just playing that Plaza Strongholds game.
All right, now Bubudubu, welcome to joining us for the winter view. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? So, you guys started off with that loss, but now all of a sudden you guys have beat, two of the top teams, Team Liquid, and also you just took down, Naded, who these guys, Luminosity, they were looking really strong. They also beat Optic Gaming in the scrims. What was the big difference from, over the last couple of days for you guys to come out so hot?
I mean, couldn't really say because we don't really practice as us four as of now. So we just came in to play some Halo and play the best we could and see if we could win. And we ended up pulling out the W. So we're all pretty happy.
So you're talking about, you guys haven't been practicing with your four-man squad. Obviously, you guys were playing with Straight Sick. Now, does this mean, are you guys able to give any information on where you guys currently stand as a team? Are you guys going to, end up getting a different fourth? Or how's everything going to pan out for you guys? Because that transaction period's coming up in about a week.
We don't really have a set decision what we're going to do yet. We're still just, brainstorming to see what's going to happen. So we just don't know yet.
All right. Now, of course, you guys did lose that first game pretty handedly. What was the turnaround? What is it like? Is it going to be more of the game types, more of the momentum? How come we see like all four of these games and none of them are really that close?
I don't know. It's I mean, I really couldn't say really. I guess they're just the shortest game one. And we just short them all three of the other games. Basically how it happened. I mean, that's just sometimes how Halo goes.
Do you think it's more of the map selection or the game type selection or, the order that you run into in the series?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could just be the maps. We're pretty good on those Kali Slayers and flags as well. I mean, that's probably his best game type. Suspector, he absolutely destroys on that map. And then Plaza Strongholds, I've actually been doing pretty good recently. We all have, so we have a pretty good strategy on that map too.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Suspector had a great series. Did you another
Yeah,
question?
I'm interested in, when you have these things going on with the team, what's your actual individual regimen like and how you actually practice and how do you prepare just for the Pro League in general?
Yeah, probably about a week ago, I just started grinding Arena. I mean, a lot of people watching this stream has probably ran into me if they play Arena. I've been playing Arena like 8 hours a day at least, just by myself. And then whenever the team's on, we go and scrim. But basically, for myself, I've been trying to play as much Halo as I can to prepare.
Well, there it is. You hear from Bubudubu being on the grind. Well, Bubudubu, congratulations as well. Tell Suspector I thought he had a fantastic series because we were on board with him a lot, and he was dominating you as well, especially that last one. So congratulations on the win, and good luck tomorrow as well.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Bubudubu coming out, showing why he is Bubudubu and why he is such a phenomenon here in Halo 5.
Yeah, he was handing out a lot of Dubus that game. I mean, these guys, they're just playing Halo, and they're not really focused on the drama. They're not focused on the BS that's taking place, and that's a good mindset to have. I like that they're coming out and just giving it their all, and that's a big win for a team that doesn't necessarily know who their fourth player is going to be. They're kind of on, the fence of where they want to go and not really sure what's going to happen, and to be able to take down a Luminosity squad that, is on the top of the world at this point, the only undefeated team left in the Pro League, all feeling good about one another, and those are the type of things that should be able to technically, give you the win. And they weren't able to walk away with the win, mainly because of just a couple minor mistakes. So if they go back and maybe just look at those mistakes, I think that they're going to be feeling a lot better and kind of being like, smacking their knee or, face palming because they're like, oh man, we let this guy stay alive when he was the last guy alive, killed two of us, and they countercap on us. Like, that's not very good. So just very minor mistakes from them led to a snowball victory for E6.
Now, of course, if you are at home watching and you want to see how how you can get involved and see how your skills are going to match up against some of the best here in North America, make sure you head over to halo.gg where you can find out all the information about the open circuit. And of course, we'll have another bracket or open circuit weekend coming on here on this Saturday. And now, of course, that is going to do it for match number 3, but we still have more action in store. Match of the night here, one I'm extremely excited for, and it's going to be Team Liquid going up against none other than Optic Gaming.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have that coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll see you back here after this.